So welcome to an absolutely fantastic day, a fantastic occasion where we are about to introduce the wonderful Ken Keoghan, aka Coach Ken, as I like to call him. And I have him invisible at the moment. So we can have the great reveal of the masterful Ken. So without further ado, Ken, come on, if you know how to put your camera back on. And yes. I want to introduce the wonderful Ken. So Ken, just to share, before we are actually not recording the radio interview yet, but just to introduce him, Ken is a gentleman that I had the pleasure to meet possibly about maybe 6 years ago, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, about 7 years ago.
About 7 years ago. And yeah, I met him in a taxi. I met him in a taxi because he was driving my taxi to the airport. He was my taxi driver and he was bringing me to the airport, and I was going on a wonderful hypnosis weekend or something like that. And we got chatting, as we do. I can't stop talking, and neither can Ken. So we hit it off. We had a great conversation, a great chat, and yeah, he was a man on a mission. And I think, I don't know what after that did you contact me? Did I contact you?
Yeah, you gave me your card.
That's right.
After that, I was just getting involved with a Dublin camogie team.
That's right.
And then I contacted you to come and have a talk with the girls, which you did. I think you came twice, and they all loved your talks and that, and it went really well. And I always remembered it.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be repeating this conversation somewhat, but just to give you guys a little bit of an insight as to how Ken and I got together. And after that, like the rest is history. He went on a journey of discovery with all the mind stuff. He was an incredible coach. An absolutely incredible coach. I went and watched him, and I was taking notes, and I was watching. I learned so much about camogie, and you know, the skill that these girls have. And Ken was a phenomenal coach, an absolutely phenomenal coach. I was blown away. So you know, I was giving him a few little tips regarding, you know, language and communication, and yeah, that's how it began. And then obviously he pursued his passion and started studying all this stuff, and hence now he's going to utilize what he's learned to bring it into the coaching sports arenas. And that's so okay, so I think we're going to record. I'm going to record the radio interview now for the next 28 minutes, and we will start all that again. So I'm just going to make sure that I have this set up, because I'm also going to record on Audacity. Okay. I can do this. Okay, right. Here we go. You ready for this? This is an inside view at how we record a radio interview for Dublin City FM, 103.2 Dublin City FM, in front of an audience of about 160,000 on average listeners a day. So here we go. Hello and welcome to Mind Matters, the show to help you change your mind. This is Danielle Serpico here on 103.2 Dublin City FM. And today, this wonderful Friday, we have an absolutely incredible show lined up for you. If it's your first time tuning into Mind Matters, my name is Danielle and I am your mind coach. Now, the way that I help you change your mind for the better is in a couple of unusual ways. My first way to help you change your mind is by bringing you truly terrible jokes. Now, the reason why I want to share with you some terrible jokes is because I believe that humor makes all the difference. So my joke for you today is going to give you a little bit of an insight into what my incredible guest is going to be talking about. So here we go. Are you ready for this? Here we go. I kind of laugh at my own jokes, but that's all good. So what did the football coach say to the vending machine? Give me my quarterback, of course. Boom, 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 boom. Or here's another really even more terrible one. After an embarrassing loss, the coach announced to the players, "When I told you to play like you have never played before, I did not mean that you should play like you have never played before." Now, that's a little bit of a pun on words, and that also gives you a little bit of an insight as to what my wonderful guest is speaking about. Now, whether you laughed with me or at me, I'm okay with that, because either way, I've still done my job. And my job is to help you to change chemically, neurologically, so that you are feeling better. Now, the second way that I help you to change your mind is by bringing you incredible, phenomenal guests every single week. And this week is an exceptional week because I have the honor to introduce a very good friend of mine, an incredible guy. I call him Coach Ken. His name is Ken Keoghan, and today he is here to share with you his journey through his life of adversity and overcoming, and how he changed careers in the middle of a pandemic and has now just today, right now, become a published author. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Ken Keoghan, coach extraordinaire and the author of the book out today, The Winning Mindset. Welcome, Ken.
Hi, Danielle. Thanks very much for having me.
It's great to have you here on Dublin City FM.
My pleasure.
So tell me, now we know we go back a little bit of a way, don't we?
We do, yeah. Probably about 7 years or so, Danielle, yeah.
Yeah, and we met in a kind of, and maybe it's not an unusual way, maybe maybe many people meet this way, but you happen to be driving me to the airport in a taxi, isn't that so?
That's right, yeah.
And we had a great old chat, and after that we kind of got together. So Ken is a phenomenal, an incredible coach, and you've been working with people and different teams over the number of years, and you invited me to come and overlook and have a little bit of a look at some of the stuff that you were doing with some of your incredible team. Isn't that right?
Yes, shortly after I had you in the taxi, I became involved with a Dublin Camogie team. And I knew from our discussion that you would probably be able to help the girls out with changing their minds to more of a positive mindset. And with that, you had given me your card. So I got you to come out and speak to the girls on 2 occasions. And I think they all found it very useful, and it helped them to focus a bit better on their game. So yes, and I never forgot that since then. And I thought maybe someday down the road, I'd like to get more involved in it. And yeah, here we are.
And here we are. So fast forward 6-7 years time, you went on then to do a lot of study. A lot of, obviously, the most important part of all this is the experience that you have had in your life, working with different teams, doing your own coaching, doing your own work. And then to top it all off, you learned the incredible skills that you learned about psychology, about the neurology, and about NLP, which we can touch on a little bit. So let's go back a little bit. Ken, where are you from?
I'm from Santry in Dublin, on the north side of Dublin, not far from Dublin Airport.
So you're a Dublin lad through and through.
I'm a Dub, yeah, absolutely.
And good. So our Dublin listeners, do you love Dublin?
Of course I do. I'm a huge Dublin fan. I have my Parnell pass, so I get to go to see all the Dublin matches in Croke Park, and now and again I go to the away league matches as well. Yes, so yes, a huge Dublin Gaelic fan.
Awesome. So, tell me a little bit about your upbringing, your childhood. What got you into sport? When was your first, what was your first sport that you played?
I played soccer, football. Football, as we call it here, but anybody from England would call it football, but it's different to our Gaelic football. So we call it soccer to explain the difference. I played that up until my 30s. And while I was in school, and we were in a Christian Brothers secondary school, so we were taught a bit about Gaelic football and hurling, but I never actually played a game. I've never played a game in my life, believe it or not. But when my eldest son was old enough, at the age of 7, which was 1996, I brought him down to our local GAA club, which was Erin's Isle and Finglas, and it all started from there. So as a parent on the sideline, the coach there who was involved with the team, I think there was probably about 25, 30 kids, and he was on his own. And he just turned to me and said, will you give me a hand? So I said, look, I haven't a clue. I don't know the rules. He said, just follow me. So that's what happened. He just got roped in. And so then I decided from going to matches, sometimes a referee wouldn't turn up and one side to do one half and the other side to do the other. I said, I better go and learn the rules of the game as well. So I also became a referee and went on to referee up to the highest level that you can. But from the coaching end, I went to do all the courses and became better as a coach and enjoyed doing that. And so I stayed with my 7-year-old son's team up until I actually coached him when he was in his 20s. So I stayed with him all that time. But in the meantime, I had I'd been approached by a couple of guys from the Dublin Camogie board and asked me would I take on a Dublin team, which was a huge honor. So I did that for a couple of years, which was around this time that I met you. And so that's really my coaching career so far. Now at the moment I'm living in Dundalk and I've only just joined the local club here, which is the oldest GAA club in Ireland. It's called Dundalk Young Ireland. So I'm starting now on the 10th of May or 11th of May when we're allowed back on the pitch, starting our senior ladies Gaelic football team, which they haven't had since the 1980s. So it's exciting and can't wait to get back out on the pitch again.
They're very, very lucky to have you. I mean,
so I keep telling them.
They are. I mean, I was blown away when I first witnessed you and the girls, the Camogie team. They were phenomenal. You were phenomenal. What I really have huge admiration for is the relationship you had with every single one of those women. They were powerful. Even the tiniest little ones on the team were so strong, so powerful. And the way that you had a natural ability to connect with them was really beautiful to watch, genuinely really beautiful to watch. So you most certainly have that natural instinct, and you could tell immediately that people loved you. You could tell that they all had huge respect to what you said, and there was a real connection between you and them. So that was a really beautiful thing to watch. And I was blown away by the sport and the ability of those women. Like I was just in awe. So like if we go back a little bit, through your life, I mean, I know, let's go back to say at the start of this recession, or not recession, at the start of this pandemic. It probably is a recession as well. Over here in Ireland in particular, maybe in a lot of countries around the world, obviously everybody's been hit by the pandemic. In Ireland, they say that we had the worst lockdown in any country in the world. Supposedly, that's what's being said. So you were a taxi driver. I know you were coaching on the side, but your main income was from working as a taxi driver. How did the pandemic affect you? How did COVID affect you just over a year ago?
Hugely. I haven't worked since the 13th of March of last year, so I'm nearly 15 months out of work now. Excuse me. And it was during that time I just thought, I've got to do something. I've got to try and upskill and retrain. And I thought to myself, well, at my age, can I do something? Am I too old to do it? I mean, we'd been through recessions before. Excuse me. I'll just take a little sip of water.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a great quote that I love. And it says that a good coach will make his players see what they can be rather than what they are. And it's so interesting that, because when we're talking about Ken and what I could see already in Ken when he was coaching, and then now what he has with his ability to understand psychologically the communication, we know that when any good sports personality understands how to visualize, how to imagine the result that they want, and that's what helps them to win in life. So that's a skill that I could see that you could tell, anyone could be able to tell the moment that they met Ken. And I'm curious as how that ability to have that foresight in life translated to you dealing with the difficulty and the adversity of a pandemic and being, out of work.
But I'm going to go back years to when I was playing football. Like the first person that kind of I actually learned something was my football coach, and he got me to do something which now became to know as visualizing. And I thought, geez, what's this fella talking about? But he would tell me to go home at night before a match. On a Saturday night, we'd have a match on a Sunday morning, and just visualize. I was a striker. I was a forward. Visualize what you're going to do tomorrow, and the team we're playing against, and you're going to score a goal. How are you going to score the goal? And I thought, geez, this fella's, he's had a few too many drinks or something, But I started doing it. I started going home thinking about it, and sure enough, not every game, but there were games when things would happen, and I say, yeah, geez, that's kind of the kind of goal I thought about last night. So it always stuck with me that the visualization was a very important thing, which I tried to pass on to the girls in the camogie when I was dealing with them. And again, the question you asked me about the pandemic, it was something I thought, what else can I do? I thought, well, maybe I can do something with coaching and get into it more. And I had met you, and I said, right, I've got to get more into the NLP things and learn more about the psychology of sport and how to deal with properly with giving players mental skills. I mean, most players have their physical skills and their technical skills, but something that's not often brought into their game is their mental skills. And I've heard that mentioned by top coaches only recently. And I thought, geez, maybe I'm onto something here. Yeah. So it is very important. And I thought, this is the only thing I can do away from taxi. I was driving a taxi for 38 years. And as Dr. Tony there will tell you, probably pretty badly, but he keeps coming back to me anyway. So no, it was genuinely something I reckoned I was too old to start looking for a job in IT or thing. I didn't really have the interest in it. But coaching, I love coaching. And now that I got in touch with you and I've found NLP and this way of coaching, I'm really excited and looking forward to developing it more.
Yeah,
and hopefully I can move away completely from driving a taxi. At the moment, I've got to keep it going, but if I can, I would like to move away from it,
Well, anyone that's listening in Dublin City right now who wants an incredible taxi driver who's going to inspire you, motivate you, give you the winning mindset, go and find and connect with Ken Keoghan. Okay, he is incredible. I mean, by the way, you have on Facebook, you have a Facebook page which is called Ken, what is it called? The Winning Mindset, is it?
The Winning Mindset Coach.
The Winning Mindset Coach. So you can find him on Facebook under the Winning Mindset Coach. So, okay, so most successful people and everybody that I interview on the radio always kind of says the same thing. When we're talking about reaching success or achieving a goal that you want in life, when you started to think back 12, 13 months ago on, maybe I can change career, maybe I have to change career, maybe I'm going to look at doing something different and do what I know best, do what I love, which is coaching, okay? What happened inside your head? Did you imagine the end result? Did you see yourself doing that? What is it that happened? Did you just feel that this was the natural progression?
Well, when I started doing the course with yourself, I didn't know where it was going to take me, if I'm honest. But pretty soon after a couple of sessions and the courses that I'd done with you, I could see, I suppose you could say I could visualize, right, okay, down the road, this is something I could develop and would probably be quite good at.
Yeah, so extremely good at because you have the practical experience, the charisma and the personality for it, and the ability to connect with human beings, which is really important. Plus now all the experience and the knowledge that you had already as a professional coach, you also now have all the experience from the mindset and psychology part of it as well, and subconscious part of it. So I've got some questions for you to have a little bit of fun with, okay?
Lovely.
So I'm going to throw them at you, okay? Are you ready for this?
Yes. Okay.
So let me ask you, what is your favorite sports personality? Is there someone that inspired you, someone motivated you, someone that...
Well, yes. As a young player, soccer player, as I was at the time, my favorite player was Martin Chivers. He played for Tottenham Hotspur. He was a goal scorer. He was a centre forward for England. So he was a big, tall guy, curly hair, but a fantastic goal scorer. So I always used to love watching him play on TV, and I aspired to be like him, to be a good goal scorer.
Amazing.
But as for personality-wise, I love Paul Gascoigne. Again, was an English footballer, played for Tottenham, played for Newcastle, but he was he was a very troubled guy himself in his own personal life, but an awful joker. And you might have known me for, I like a now joker too myself. So I kind of related. I love hearing the stories about him, because he turns out he was a really, really funny guy, used to love practical jokes, etc. So there would be the type of guys that I would, the personalities that I would have liked.
Really good. Okay, what's your best memory of having played sport, or what's your best memory regarding sport?
My own personal memory of me playing sport.
Yeah, or being involved in it in any.
Yeah. Again, right. I had, and it's going back to this manager again that I had. Like for one season, I think I was on under 16s. I might have scored 20 goals. And again, from talking to Norman Walsh was his name. And he was the guy that got me visualizing and thinking. And all of a sudden, the next season, I scored, I think it was 32 or 33 goals. It was the top goal scorer in the league that year. And that was a huge achievement. I was very proud of that. I didn't look like I look now. I had the Ken Keoghan permed locks at the time, because that was the rage at the time. So thankfully there's no photographs to show, but
oh, we'd love to see that.
Oh no, you wouldn't. No.
Brilliant. So who is the coach that you most admire, that you most look up to, that you most like to be like?
Well, again, being from Dublin, Jim Gavin was the Dublin manager for a number of years up to recently, and Dublin, as you know, have won a number of championships in a row. I won't blow it too loud, because I'm in County Louth now, and there's other counties listening, so they don't want to hear about the Dubs too much. But he's been a fantastic coach, as well as Brian Cody from Kilkenny. I mean, that guy is around, I think he must like over 20 years. I'm not sure exactly how many years with Kilkenny, 24, 25 years. And he's been a phenomenal coach for them. So those guys, like, to be able to go through squads of players and bring new players in every year and still have huge success, they're guys I'd look up to, say, wow, that's incredible. I'd love to have, to achieve something like they do.
And what do you think it is that they have in specifically that other coaches maybe don't have? What is it? What is their special talent, their special skill that
what having not worked with them, I would just imagine that they are able to relate to the players' man management, on a one-to-one. All players are different. Some people need an arm around the shoulder to encourage them. Other people need to be shouted at. Other people don't. They just work their socks off and they just play to their best ability. So I think these guys, Jim and Brian Cody, from what I'm not too sure, but I'd imagine they are types of guys who could manage different players and then bring new guys through and do the same thing repeatedly year after year. Okay, that's fantastic coaching,
And that is probably the skill that is most necessary, isn't it, in coaching?
Well, it is. You've got to get your players to buy into what you want them to do, and obviously you've got to see if they're able to do it. So it's a balancing act between that,
Yeah, and that is something that obviously is covered a lot in the book. So if you were to pick who has most inspired you in life in general, besides the coaches, there's one major figure, personality, like somebody really famous, like, I don't know, Oprah Winfrey, Gandhi, that you most look up to, admire. Who would that be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I couldn't. There's nobody jumps out as immediately as say, oh, that's the one person. Probably grown up at different stages. I had the footballers when I was younger. I have comedians I love, because I just love comedy. So over the years, it would have been Father Ted, or it would have been Basil Fawlty, or it would have been favorite. The Life of Brian. It would be all these kind of pro. I just love comedians. Billy Connolly is my favorite all-time comedian. Followed probably closely by Peter Kay after that. So I just love humor. I love comedy. I can't think of any, but there's nobody jumps out that I say, oh yeah, they made me settle down and do this, that, or the other. So I'm sorry, it's not a great answer for you.
No, it's a great answer. Humor is so important, and I'd be right there with you. I love all of those. My favorite is Basil Fawlty. Absolutely, I've used admiration for him. He wrote most of the stuff, and his wife is the waitress in it, and that's right. Like they're incredible. Like they're hilarious, really, really good. So I have a huge admiration for them. Okay, so What do you think is I mean, this is kind of like, sport, we can relate it to life. So we get knocked down. I feel like singing a song here now. You get knocked down, you get up again.
Get up again, yeah.
Well, we get knocked down in life and we got to get up again. What do you think are the similarities? Or do you agree that there are similarities between the lessons that we can learn in sport and the lessons that we can learn in life or in business, etc.?
God, you like the easy questions, don't you? I'm sure there is a relationship, but it's just, how to help people get back up on their feet when they fail.
Yeah.
Probably my first thing to say would be very carefully, but that's just the humor in me. I would, if somebody came to me with a problem, obviously you would try to find out what the problem is first and try and build a bit of rapport with them. Try and mix, match their mood, try and get talking to them on their level, and then try and lead them to a better place, bring them to a better place than they were when they started off with you. That's the ideal rapport, and try and help them to move on from their problem.
Yeah.
I know it's a very simplistic version of it, and I hope that answers what you're asking me.
No, that's an amazing answer. I love it. So what has helped you most get back up in life?
I just, again, you just don't want to give up. You just got to keep pushing yourself, no matter what it is, whether it's sport or whether it is in life. There's things that are going to come and knock you down. Things are going to trouble you. You've just got to try and stay positive and think of the positives on life. It's very easy to think negative and feel down about yourself. But, talking to people, it helps an awful lot. And when you can see the positive side of things, when you can look at where you are now and where you want to be and see how good you'll feel when you get there, it does help. It's easier to get you back up on your feet.
I love it. And you've kind of synopsized, in my opinion, because obviously I've read your book. You've kind of synopsized a lot of the philosophy in your book. So I think it's about time that we kind of let everybody know that the winning mindset is now, from this moment on, the winning mindset, your ultimate guide. Well, what's the subtitle again?
How to up your game and win in sport.
How to up your game and win in sport.
I'm glad I remember that.
Glad you remembered it too. Okay, The Winning Mindset, an absolutely phenomenal book, is now on sale right now. And for the next 24 hours, so in other words, until 7 p.m. tomorrow night, the book, the Kindle version of the book, so the downloadable version of the book, is on sale for €1. For €1 right now. So it's on sale right now for only €1. And you can have it instantly downloaded onto your phone, onto your laptop, and you can read it immediately. So I highly suggest, this offer is only available for the next 24 hours, that you go right now and download this book immediately. The Winning Mindset by Ken Keoghan. There are some other books up there that are called the same thing, but obviously they're they're nowhere near as good. I've read the book, The Winning Mindset. It is absolutely tremendous. This is a book particularly for sports people, but not just for sports people, because I truly believe that the lessons that we learn in sport are equivalent to the lessons that we learn in life. When you know how to pick yourself back up on the pitch of life, everything changes. When you know how to have that winning mindset in life, everything changes. Now, Ken Keoghan teaches you that, shows you that, guides you through the whole process, all the steps of that. Now you can relate that even in your business. Instead of this book is primarily aimed at you, if you are a coach, if you are leading a team on the pitch, but on the field, but it could also be ideally also totally relevant for somebody who's leading a team in a business place.
Yeah. So
a lot of the principles are equally relevant. So tell us a little bit about the book and tell us about it.
Okay, well, it's obviously, it is aimed, originally at coaches and at players who want to become elite players. But as you've just said yourself, anybody can take something out of this book. The more I read it myself, I'm actually looking at it saying, oh yeah, you could relate that to business. As you said, if you were leading a team of people and you wanted to motivate them to up their sales, etc., there are things in the book that you could use. If you're dealing with kids as a parent, there are ways to get around kids and giving them options and giving them choices to make them clean their room or whatever. There are little things. There's an important section in a chapter called The Power of Words. And the power of words, it's something you just take for granted, but they're so powerful when you use the right words in the right place, and also not using certain words. The likes of, usually yourself, Danielle, we don't use the word don't, because anything you use after the word don't is not remembered by your brain. So you don't say to your child, don't forget, or you don't say to your team, don't forget we have training on Wednesday, because more likelihood is that they will forget because their mind doesn't register the negative. So different things like that. Focus, get more of what you focus on. These are all things that can be brought into business and home, and everything else. So as it is aimed at sports people, but it's not specifically for it.
Absolutely.
So many people have read the book apart from yourself, and they've said that they mightn't be particularly into sports, but they found it uplifting. My partner Sam read it, and she's not into sports, and she found it very uplifting and thought, oh God, lots of people could read this book and get something from it.
Yeah, and that is exactly what I mean. I've read it and I completely concur, completely agree. We've only got about a minute left, so Ken, the book is now out, The Winning Mindset. You can go and get it on Amazon. If you want to get the hard copy version, make sure that you're going to your locality, as in, so like
marketplace,
your own marketplace.
Yeah, I was on to Amazon, or KDP as it's called today. So you may look on, like I tried to order the book here on Amazon.com, but it said it wasn't available. So I got on the phone and they said, yes, it will appear that if you're not in that locale. So if you're living in America, it'll be grand, it's there. If you're living in the UK and you go on to .uk, it'll be there. But for those of us, because of Brexit, believe it or not, because the rest of us who are in Ireland and want to Europe, you've got to go to the German website if you want the paperback version.
Okay, so we're nearly out of time. You can also get in touch with Ken directly through his Facebook page, The Winning Mindset Coach, and you can also order a hardback copy with a signed autographed copy also from him. So go get your book. You've got 24 hours to get this for only €1. Go get it, download it, read it, get in touch with Ken. If you're a coach and you're looking for some mindset stuff with your team, get in contact with Ken Keoghan today. It is going to change not only your team, your life, your whole philosophy on thinking, and you will get a winning mindset. Last words, Ken, very, very quickly.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Get out and download the book if you wouldn't mind. It will definitely, as new coaches, old coaches, players, you will definitely get a lot out of it. It'll help you to be more mentally strong and help you with your communication as a coach with your players. Definitely worth a read. You can't beat it for 99 cents.
Okay, awesome, Ken. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here on Dublin City FM today, and we'll get you back on again to talk to you about your next book very, very soon. So for now, you guys tuning in, we'll see you again, same time, same place next week. For now,
Danielle.
Thank you, Ken. Keep dreaming big and have a wonderful day. Bye for now. I have paused this. I'm pausing two things simultaneously, but anyway, that's okay. Okay, great. We're recording again. Okay, awesome stuff. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that little radio interview. That's going to be going live tomorrow. It'll be a little bit edited, and we added a little bit of music to it. So it'll all be sounding very professional. And you'll get to hear Ken if you're driving a taxi tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
I didn't provide the music, by the way.
The music is Rocky. It's Eye of the Tiger. That's how my show begins. So it begins with that beat. So it's really, really good, and finishes
obviously.
So you'll love it. You'll love it. So you can tune in at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning and hear it live on 103.2 Dublin City FM. If you are not in Dublin, you can still obviously go and listen live on your computer, and you'll be able to hear it. So now is the time for anything that we didn't ask him, anything that we didn't say to him is now.
Not Friday morning, Danielle.
Now is the time, to unmute your mic and you can ask questions. What did you say, Sadie? Or she just... I don't know, she said something. It's on tomorrow morning.
Sorry, no, I thought today was Wednesday, and yeah. And
All
you
is
said,
good. So guys,
Yeah.
just to let you know, again, just to reiterate, the book
Well
is now
done.
live. The book is now live on Amazon. So you can go onto Amazon UK, Amazon.com, whichever Amazon you want, and you can type in The Winning Mindset, Ken Keoghan, and you can get the hard copy version. However, you can also get the downloadable version right now for the next 24 hours for only €1. So we would highly recommend that you go and get it, download it, and you can start reading it straight away, and also share the link and let other people know, and so that they can get this incredible offer for the next 24 hours. So who has some questions for wonderful Ken? Because just to let you know that, I'd love you just to kind of maybe put your mic up, because we'll have people one at a time, because we are still recording this. We have a couple of prizes. So we have 3 books, hard copy versions of The Winning Mindset, available to give away to you guys for free tonight. Okay, with a first edition signed autographed copy by the author himself. Okay, and we're going to pick out the best questions, and whoever has the best questions is going to get one of his books delivered straight into your post box. So who wants to go first with their question? I see Angela has her hand up, I think. Does Angela have her hand up? You have a little wavy hand, or is that just...
So do you find it hard, Ken, dealing with women?
Wow.
Because I think one of those women could be my daughter. Good luck with that.
I thought Danielle's questions were hard. No, sure, women are just pussycats. Just speak easy to them. Yeah. No,
I'm curious, why do you ask that question, Angela?
Because one of them could be my daughter that he's going to be coaching.
Oh, right.
I think, I don't know, I'm putting pieces together, and I'm kind of going, did Brona say that she's going back to play football? Did Brona say that she's going to the Young Islanders? Did she say there was a new coach?
That name Brona rings a bell. All right, I have a list here, and what has she been doing?
Good luck.
Look, you won't know her when I'm finished with her, Angela.
Or we won't know you. Softly approach is good. It's good.
Yes.
I love it. Great question, Angela. Great question. Brona's a lovely, beautiful woman as well. So it'd be great. I'm sure if they get connected, it'll be fabulous. Okay, so who's got the next question for Ken?
Can I ask one, Ken?
Alva.
Yeah,
well done. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks very much.
I went out in the middle of the Zoom. I lost it for a second. I had to go back in. So I hope this question didn't come up in your interview. But I just wanted to know, did you play in the Irish League ever? The soccer league?
No,
and who did you play for? No?
I didn't. I gave up playing soccer.
Yeah.
See, this is going back to Angela's question. Bloody women came into the scene when I was about 18 and ruined my career. So, no, just like any, I know from being a coach myself, when I was dealing with fellas and girls at the age 17, 18, 19, that it was an awful year to be a coach, because so many things come up outside of school, like boyfriends, girlfriends, drinking, going out late. And I fell foul of that myself. So I kind of enjoyed going out and enjoying myself. So I probably, if I had applied myself and had I known then what I know now, I probably could have been a decent footballer, but I didn't unfortunately get to play in the League of Ireland. No, I didn't.
And I was just wondering, can I have one more question? Do you know my uncle? He's he's famous enough in Ireland. He actually, we were living in Dundalk. The last team he managed was Dundalk. Dermot Keely. Do you know Dermot?
I know the name, Dermot. He played League of Ireland, didn't he?
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the name, but I'm not long up in Dundalk yet, so I'm still.
Oh, he played for the whole.
I still have to throw breadcrumbs around to find my way to the shopping centre and that.
Yeah, no, he played for all the teams, nearly every team, and he was the managers, and he's a fantastic player actually.
Well, the guy that I deal with a lot here in Dundalk, Barry McDermott. I'm sure he'll know Dermot Keely, because Barry played for Dundalk years ago. His actually claim to fame is that he played against Ryan Giggs. He played against Manchester United and saved a penalty against Ryan Giggs. So Yeah, so he'd know Dermot Keeley, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Alva. Let's get
Thanks,
on
Alva.
to who else has a question for Ken? Steve.
Hi, Ken. Amazing. I loved it. Absolutely love it.
Thanks, Dave.
So for me, it was very inspiring because for me, writing a book is outside my comfort zone, but it's something I know I've got a book in me about my own journey of helping myself to understand myself better and help others. So my question is, did you have that same experience? It's outside your comfort zone. And what was the process that you used to overcome that discomfort of doing something outside your comfort zone? Did you use you talk about visualization. Did you visualize yourself on this day having achieved that, for example, using the timeline? Or just be very useful for me to know what the process you went through, how you got to this point in time.
Thanks, Dave. That's a great question. Yes, absolutely out of my comfort zone. I loved English when I was in school. I loved writing essays and so on, but I never dreamed of writing a book. Absolutely never. And it's only since I started doing the mentorship with Danielle and she put it to me, oh, you could write a book. And I said, not at all. So she said, yes, you could. Yeah. And she got me thinking, what do you like? What would you like to be doing? And I said, well, I love coaching. She said, right, okay, there you go. Get thinking about coaching and what about it? What would you like to see change? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it is definitely like the timeline, Steve, as you say, looking where I was and saying, right, 6 months, a year's time, if I wrote a book, and then looking at all the steps in between, what I'd have to do after a month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, okay, as it turned out, it took 6 months to get to the stage where we are at now. So it's unbelievable. I never dreamed in a million years that I would write a book. And I'm shocked and amazed, and I'm so excited that it's happened today. You wouldn't believe it. I'm over the moon that it's been, and thank you to everyone that's been here and supporting me through it. So thank you for the question. Yeah, absolutely out of my comfort zone, Steve. And definitely the timeline is the way to do it. It gave me a bit of structure. It gave me a game plan, which is something I write about in the book. You've got to have a game plan from where you are to what you want to get at the end of it, and then all the steps in between. So it does help to structure it, and it makes it a bit easier to get to your goal. Thank you, Steve.
I love that.
And did you have, I love that as well, Ken. Thank you. And did you, I know that Danielle's talked about having a date in mind. Did you have your own password, for example, as the dates? I mean, was there any alignment with the actual dates that you foresaw of this achievement?
Not initially, Steve. When I said, right, I'm going to write a book, I said, yeah, okay, write a book. How do I go? So Danielle told me how to start it off and write down the chapters and so on. So then it was right, okay, so I was dealing with Danielle on a month-to-month basis. She said, right, well, between now, she kept me, I had to... Accountable is the word, exactly. I was accountable to Danielle every month. What have you done since last month? What have you done? So it really focused my mind on saying, right, I've got to do this month. The next month, I've got to research more. Then I had all my chapters together. Then I got to go back and edit them until it looks fairly half decent. And in the end, then I, thanks to Emma McCabe, she did the illustrations for me for my book, and they're brilliant. And when I saw all that coming together, I thought, wow, this is, I started counting. I said, right, started this in October, and here I was in March. I said, geez, I'm nearly done. So by Easter, I could have this actually finished. And it was finished by Easter, but it still had a final edit to do, but I was finished with it at that stage. And then I had to get the book cover designed, and that was it. But yeah, so no is my answer to your initial question. I didn't pick a year's time. I kind of went with the flow, but it kind of gathered momentum fairly quickly, being accountable to Danielle every month. That's really what made me focus. So thank you again, Steve.
Letting go of the outcome and keeping yourself accountable was the way forward for you. Yeah,
absolutely.
Brilliant.
Accountable.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. That was really
Steve.
good. Really good question.
Tony,
really good
Dr.
question.
Tony has a question.
Okay, Tony.
Right, I'm here. Yeah, I do have a question. Before my question, though, I did want to refer to a quote from your presentation there, Ken. It's absolutely great because Daniel said to you, well, Daniel asked you a question, and you said, well, when I started the journey with you, Danielle, if I'm honest, I never knew where it was going to take me. I felt exactly the same every time I got in your cab at Dublin Airport. exactly the same.
I warned you about him, Danielle.
Anyway, there is a question, and I know J.K. Rowling is currently having sleepless nights, Ken, about your potential sales figures. So am I, because if this takes off, however will you pay for that Mercedes, but you won't pick any of us up anymore, which is
Well, wait till I tell you, your prices will double anyway. Let me tell you.
But my question, Ken, is this: how you having spent all this time thinking about the book, is there anything that you would do differently now, as opposed to say when you started reading it?
Wow.
When you started writing it, is there anything you would now, any sort of nugget or anything you think you would?
Actually, Tony, I think if I was to write another book now, I would probably follow the very same format, because I thought, you know, in NLP, we talk about timelines, and, you know, you're starting with the idea in your hand, on your left hand, we say, and then the right hand is the finished book. And you've got to look, right, this is where I am now, and that's where I want to be. And as Steve said, right, if you put a time on it, in 6 months' time, will I have a year? That's where I'm going to have my book finished. Right, so how am I going to get from A to B? So you got to look at all the steps. So I honestly think if I had to do another book, I would do it the very same way, get my chapters in order, research every chapter, get it down bit by bit, week by week, and I would get somebody to be accountable to. Someone like Danielle that would say, right, hold on, you told me this month you'd have this done, you know, and it forces you to keep at it and keep working. There was a lot of hours, a lot of long hours done, research and typing with one finger, you know. So but we got there in the end. But no, I thank you for your question. I do think if I was to do another one, which is highly unlikely at this stage, you never know, I might do a story of my taxi outings and people I've had in my car, and God knows you might get a mention there, Tony.
Ken, that sounds like a great book. We've still got another 6 months.
That would be a brilliant book, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That would be
the
great.
confessions of a taxi driver.
Yeah,
And lots of comedy in it too, Ken. I'd say there's lots of comedy there.
Well, I tell you, when you drive Dr. Tony McNulty there, it's nothing but jokes and humor. He is. I have to be honest and say he is a guy I look forward to driving whenever he comes over from the UK. So he is a pleasure to drive.
brilliant.
Well, I'm banned. You banned us for the minute. We can't get over, unfortunately.
Yes, I had a word with our Taoiseach here. I said, look, keep the UK out for a while, will you? This fellow will be only over as soon as you open the flights.
Isn't it amazing how we can make such wonderful relationships just by getting in a taxi? It's incredible what can happen, isn't it? You never know who you're going to meet.
I'm one of these, Danielle. I just like talking. So there, you will get taxi drivers, as Tony would tell you, who will grunt at you, and they get into smelly cars and everything else. I take pride in my car. I like to have a clean working environment, but I love talking and I love having a joke. So
awesome.
He had no choice in the matter when I met him.
Tony, thank you, Dr. Tony,
Thanks,
for
Tony.
your question. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Michael, have you got a question for us? You've got your hand raised.
Wait till I take a drink of water, Michael. This could take a while. Okay, let's have it.
So, when Danielle first brought the idea of you writing the book, what was the feeling?
Initially, I thought, you're off your rocker, Danielle. Absolutely, thought, not at all. I can't write a book. I know nothing about writing books.
I remember.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I just thought, no,
And then
I can do.
Realized that that you are actually able to write a book.
Yeah, well, I've often heard people on TV saying, oh, we've all got a book inside us. And I just never thought there was any truth in that at all, until I got down to sit down and think about it, say, if I had to write a book, what could I write on? And then I just thought of something that I love, which was the coaching. I said, okay, maybe is there something on, what angle could I take on coaching? And then I came up with what I did. And I honestly think, as I said earlier on, I've heard a top coach recently saying that athletes, what they don't get coached or dealt with is their mental skills. So they all learn how to kick a ball properly and to be physically strong, doing the weights and in the gym and what they eat and everything else. but their actual mental skills of how they change their mindsets from feeling bad about something to changing to feeling good, and the neural pathways and all this kind of stuff. It's not something that anybody I've spoken to has actually done with them by a coach in a team. So I thought, well, okay, there might be something in the market here for this kind of a book.
But then we need to change it, because if it's not working, then
yeah, well, I think this might help if people read the book. And again, I go back to Barry here in Dundalk. He's been very good. He's put it up on Facebook all over Dundalk and in Loud and in Leinster GAA circles. He's pushed the book for me there. So you never know. People may want to talk to me, coaches from different clubs or from counties. And I might be able to help some.
Not maybe, absolutely. Not absolutely. So, Michael, that's your question, yeah? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Just one. How many pages are in the book?
116 in the book, Michael.
Okay.
Okay. And just on a side note, I can see the messages from people that they're all everyone's wondering about how to download the Kindle. I downloaded it. I don't have Kindle, and it just downloaded. So as a just downloaded onto my computer. So I don't think you need Kindle. I'm not really sure. I think it just seems to download, because I tested it. I downloaded it without having any Kindle app or anything like that. So I think it just downloads, as far as I can see. It worked for me anyway. Okay, Patrick or Tracy.
How you doing?
How are you, Patrick?
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Just a question, and I suppose it requires a sincere answer.
You're onto the wrong person now.
When you say that, just like, as much as because obviously me and Tracy are more than familiar with the process of writing a book, as is Danielle. I can only assume there's a few others in the group as well. Did you
Has somebody got their mic on? No. Okay. No.
Had you at any stage reached or encountered the wall? By that I mean the moment where you think, I can't actually do this. You know, and I know it's all well and good having someone there like Danielle to encourage you, which is important. But at the end of the day, it's yourself who has to make the decision. So how did you decide to I'm just going to ignore the self-doubt I have now and just plow on with it?
Yeah, you're right, Patrick. There was a phase probably after I had. Yeah, when I had initially got my chapters down and I started doing research, there was one or two chapters I came across and I felt, oh God, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to have enough meat to put on the bones of these subjects. Yeah. And I just thought, what am I doing here? What have I started? I shouldn't have started doing this. I'm going to make an idiot of myself. And, how do I get out of this? To be honest, what I did was, I think I took probably the best part of a week and I just stepped away from it.
Yeah.
And I just walked away and I said, leave it alone. And I just did other stuff, whatever. Went for walks, went for drives, had the odd pint or two here. And I just turned off. I just took a break from it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, when I kind of relaxed again in my own head and my inner voice talked to me, and I said, well, look, go back and have a look at it again. And maybe another angle you can tackle that. Or actually what I did at one stage, I had two different chapters. I ended up amalgamating two of them into one. And I thought, well, that makes more sense. So I did come across problems and I did feel like, I'm an idiot. What am I doing here? But as I say, I took the break away from it and then looked at it with fresh eyes after a while. And I thought, I
suppose to use a metaphor, not really a metaphor, but anyway, you kind of just took a deep breath, relaxed yourself, and then continued on.
Yeah, I stepped away from it though, Patrick. It took a few days.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Clear the head and start again. Yeah, I did.
100%. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. No, it's just like me and Tracy would have experience in that, and we know like we, when we were writing Tracy's book, we had plenty of holidays away and all. Now we actually done the book on a few of the holidays. While we were on holiday, we were doing the book as well.
Yeah.
But on planes and all. But no, it's you do need a moment where you can't go like full throttle at it 24/7. You do need to kind of, like you said, step away from it, take a break, take a breather, and just clear your head.
Yeah, definitely. I found I was going out in the car, I'd have a notebook with me and a pen, and I could be stopped at traffic lights or something, and something would come into my head. I say, oh, I can use that. I'll write it down, scribble it down, and I'll put meat on that later on. That's just an idea.
Yeah.
And things like that, you know. But yeah, I did take the break away from it. Definitely did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick. That's a great question. So I think we have, I mean, and actually I'm just going to get, I think, Angela, do you have another question, Angela? Okay, no. Okay, so
Mary Hayden has a question.
Mary has a question. Yeah. So like the writing process is a process, isn't it? The book writing process is a process. Now, obviously, I have a particular method that I obviously share with my students, with my mentorees, of how to do that. But obviously the work is coming from, and the mindset is coming from Ken himself. And there is always going to be those walls. There's always going to be those walls in book writing and in life in general. And stepping back, as he said, is an essential part of it. If you think it's going to go smoothly the whole way, you're mistaken. You're going to get to a point where you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to think, you know, in anything that you're going for in life, you're going to hit those moments. So yeah, stepping back from it is a really good thing. And I remember sensing those moments, talking to you about those moments, knowing those moments had arrived, and you know, noticing Ken retreating a little bit, as I've noticed with other students, other mentorees, etc., and then coming back with more gusto, with more.
Danielle, I remember, Danielle, sorry, cut the cross you. I remember looking at the dates and saying, oh Jesus, I've got a call with Danielle tomorrow, and I haven't finished what I said I'd have finished. So I know what you mean. Yeah, I was kind of I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but I knuckled down eventually.
Very quickly. So Mary, have you a question?
No, I was just going to say, for the interview there, I was nervous for you, but you came across as calm as a breeze. And then after the interview, you said you're just so excited. And I'm like, how did he hold himself together for that?
Well, I've never done an interview like that before. So I have to say, I don't use the word nervous anymore. I use the word excited. But I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. So thank you for saying that. I came across all right. I hope I did. I probably won't listen to it tomorrow because I actually don't like listening to my own voice. I think it's an awful bloody voice.
Nobody likes the sound of their own voice.
Well, you'd better get used to it. You'd better get used to it. Start getting used to it.
Well, I never had a problem doing courses and coaching coaches. I never had a problem doing that. But just to actually hear your own voice.
Yeah.
So guys, we're recording this, so obviously Ken can keep this. If you want to share it afterwards, Ken, you know, if you want to put it up there, you can also utilize it. As I said, it's really important that everybody goes and downloads that book now, and tell all your friends. We've got 24 hours to get this up there, okay, and get as many people as possible to download that book. Ken, would you like to pick the 3 best questions so that they are going to win the hard copy version of the book?
Well, definitely Steve, Patrick, I think that was very good. I don't like to insult anybody, you know, by
they were all great.
Yeah, I really appreciated them all. I thought Shauna's was the best question because
actually I didn't do mine. I just want to know, Ken, what's in the glass?
This is a glass of Jameson whiskey.
That's what I was looking at.
That was just to steady the nerves.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted with my question because everybody else's was so good.
Thank you, Shauna. So Steve, Patrick, and Dr. Tony gave me a good question. Can you think of anyone I'm missing, Danielle?
I think that's quite good. I don't know who else we had. We had Angela, we had Mary, we had Alva. So yeah, I mean, go with those three. Go with your gut. With whoever, just go with your first choice.
Well, look, I'll do an old gay burn on it. There's one for everyone in the audience. No, for anyone who asked a question, I'll give them a book.
Yeah. So anyone who asked a question, we'll have to take a list of that afterwards. So I think we have Angela, Patrick, Mary, Dr. Tony, Steve, Alva, and
mine was a genuine question,
and Shauna. Do we count Shauna's question?
Sure. We'll throw her in at the end. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to remember those names. Okay, we'll have to remember those names. Yeah.
Before we take up, Danielle, I just want to thank a few people, if that's all right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Firstly, I want to thank my parents, especially my mother and my father. That was a joke, by the way. Danielle, I want to thank you for all your help, and without you, I wouldn't be here today with this book. So you're to use your own words, you're a phenomenal coach yourself, very inspiring, and always with a happy, smiley face on you. I don't know how you do it. Your poor partner must be driven demented, looking at you smiling all the time. But you are brilliant, and I would recommend to anyone who wants to do a course to improve themselves and their life and so on, to get in touch with you online. You are absolutely incredible, and I'm thankful that I met you in the taxi that day, so that's great. Just a couple of more people. I want to thank all my friends on the BBMM group for their support and for being on tonight and wishing me well. There's an awful lot of people I've been in touch with who just couldn't make it tonight, but they've promised to download the book, which is brilliant. I want to thank Barry McDermott in Dublin, Dundalk Young Ireland's, and my players and friends in the club for their support. My own friends, my partner Sam for her support, and again, just for people who couldn't make it tonight, but who have supported me hugely and have given me the thumbs up and so on. So thank you very much to everyone. You've made it a bit easier for me tonight. Steve, you've been very calming on me. I appreciate your questions, and it's obvious you're a super duper master practitioner yourself. So thank you for making me feel relaxed.
Awesome, Ken. Listen, you've been amazing. I have such admiration and love for you, and we've got another 6 months to get cracking on now.
Okay. Just while we're here, just for the people who join in from abroad, so Dr. Tony McNulty, thank you, Tony, for joining in, and much appreciated, and for Rory and Emma for being on board as well, and to my son James, thank him for coming on board to support me.
Oh, yeah. So anyone that knows Ken knows that he's a very genuine man, a very loving, kind man, a very giving man, and he speaks from the heart. And he's a lot of fun as well. So and his book is truly phenomenal. So go buy it, go share it, get it out there, get the hard copy. You guys are all getting the hard copy. Buy the hard copy for a friend. Okay, let's get it out there. Bring it to your local GAA pitch and club and tell everyone about it, and let's get this taxi driver making loads of money. Yeah. Okay, because he deserves it. And I've seen him coaching, and he is a phenomenal coach. So we want to get these coaches in that mentality to understand this form of language, this form of communication, and Ken has it all in that book for those coaches. So go and share it with people. Thank you so much for supporting Ken here tonight. The video will also be available as a recording for afterwards. Anyone that wants to share, you can share it around. And these 24 hours, let's make them count with his book. So once again, thanks for being part of this, and thanks to the amazing Coach Ken. Give him a huge round of applause. Woohoo! For the winning mindset. The winning mindset, yeah?
Thank you, everyone. Thanks very much, Danielle. Much appreciated.
Cheers.
Look forward to seeing you all whenever we can get into a live meeting with Danielle.
Yeah, very, very soon. We're going to have a get together. Okay, very, very soon, please God. Okay, thank you so much for watching tonight, and we'll leave it at that, and Ken can go and finish his whiskey and celebrate, yeah?
I've got a couple of Guinness coming to me now as well.
Danielle, before you go, I think you should play the Rocky team tune there for
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold
Go
on
on,
1
do it.
second. Let me
Go
see this. If I can do this really fast. But Ken is going to be sitting back, drinking his whiskey and listening to all the pings on his phone because of all the hundreds of thousands of downloads of his book are going to be coming in. So yeah, we're going to get this up there high, and let's see if we can do this.
Oh. Woo.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye for now. Bye. Bye. Bye.